Okay, so for this next little tutorial, I thought I would show how to do this little sweet edible image inside our oval scallop stamp frame. Super easy, this one, and I love working with edible images. I think they're just all the go at the moment. So without further ado, I'll get stuck into this. So we have edible images on our website, which is just Vintage Sugarcraft by Catherine. This is a new design that we're bringing out. It's got those beautiful, like really deep autumn tone, rusty colors. I've just chopped a bit off here so you can see how I'm gonna go and create this. So first of all, using our scallop oval stamp frame insert, this little one comes with it. I'm just going to pop that on there and just roughly, you want to cut it bigger than that because it's going to sit underneath your frame, but you don't want it to go outside of your frame, otherwise it'll be messy. So I'm just doing like a quick little, this is just an edible image marker. Doesn't matter what you use. I'm just using it as a bit of a rough. This is how I'll cut around this. All right, all good in the hood. Pop that to the side. Then, oh, I'm going to grab my scissors and I didn't grab those out. Okay, got the scissors, sorry about that. So I'm just going to roughly cut around the outside. It's still attached to the backing, so edible icing comes with like a backing sheet. I'm just cutting around that. You don't have to be fussy. This is all going to be buried underneath your icing edge. So, okay, so you can see I've just roughly cut that out there. Now I just want to check and make sure it's not going to go outside the edges. Yeah, beautiful. So this is another reason why I like the clear fondant, because I can see exactly through it as to how far it's gonna go, unlike, you know, like the pearly sort of frosted acrylic that you can get. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna go back to my ivory colored fondant, and I should probably talk about colors here too. So when I'm decorating a set, I like to pick out like my main color, my main theme. I'm of course showcasing this new edible image print here with the lovely little autumn colored butterflies. So when I'm having a look at this, I'm picking out that my base or my color that's going to seamlessly go across my set is obviously going to be like that off-white sort of creamy color. I'm always using AmeriColor Ivory for those creams. Sometimes I might add a tiny weeny bit of like caramel latte, just depending on the depth that I want. I've also picked out this sort of blushy dusk peachy color in there, which I've mixed up into this one here. And my rust that I spoke about in an earlier video. And of course, there is my ivory latte. So I'm just going to go with 3 colors in this set. I think it's all it needs. You can mix and match them. You can tone them down, mix the colors together. You know, the combinations are endless, but that's what I'll be doing here today. So like before, I'm pulling out just a little bit of icing. I'm going to go really thin on this one again because I don't like the whole fondant overload that you can get with some of the cookies these days. My Nan's rolling pin. So I've got that icing guide on there again. Like I say, I haven't put these up. I don't know if people are interested in them. I use them because I love this rolling pin, but timber and fondant don't go well together. But it also leaves me that really beautiful, clean, topped finish. So in previous videos with this particular stamp, like I said, I'm rolling super thin. You can see how thin that is there. Then I am getting my edible image. I'm going to peel the back off. I don't use water. Water near edible images just tends to end in disaster for me. So if you've used them, you'll know that the slightest bit of water can ruin an image. This is my edible image guides. I think we've got them in like a pack of 6, and I just like them because they help to bond my image to my icing. I should probably be using a small rolling pin here, but I didn't get it out, so we'll just make do here. So just giving that a bit of a press so it has that contact. I'm peeling it off, and I'm just gonna move that to the side for a minute. Just need a bit of corn flour on my guide to move that out of the way. So I'm just going to pop him up. I'll spin this around. Ah! Told you there'd be chaos. Right, okay, so I'm just going to pop that up there for the moment. Now I'm going to move on to filling my stamp. Again, I'm not using any corn flour or anything on that. I had a bit on my hand, so pop that there. Then I'm going to grab my little two-tone tool that I have. You can use anything. You can use any sort of acrylic stamp or flat surface edge tool to work your fondant into there. So this time I think I will go back with the rust to do the outside on it. So I'm just getting a little bit of my rusty coloured, terracotta-y coloured fondant here, mixing it around again into like a long sausage. Don't have to be fussy because you can pick it up and refill. I should have put a bit more corn flour on my fingers because these are a bit sticky. Now I did heat this fondant up earlier today when I started these little decorating videos, but they're still quite pliable and soft, so I don't need to worry. So I'm just literally filling the void. I like to keep sort of really low to my stamp when I'm scraping it in. And I give it a bit of a wiggle because it really works it into that recess there. And I'm pressing firmly because I want to get as much of the fondant off the stamp as possible. Don't be too crazy fussy here because you can clean it up. So just poke that in there. And I'm going to go back and push that over there. I'm going to get rid of my excess, as you can see. Now I'm just going to give this a little bit of a clean up. Just a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. When you're working with deep stamps, when you're wiggling across, it can be easy to pull fondant out. So just kind of like wiggle slowly, if that makes sense. Everybody has their own sort of technique for two-toning things. Then I have a bit of a check over, make sure everything's in there, give it a little bit of a smooth over with my hand. And then I'm taking our little fondant eraser tool. You don't have to have these, but I just find that it's a handy little tool to clean up any of those little fluffy edges. So around they go, exactly the same as when I did this in an earlier tutorial where I wasn't using an edible image. So just popping that back into view for you. Now I'm just going to, no water or anything, I'm just going to line that up and make sure that I don't have any edible image coming outside around the edge there. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a press first. Then I'm going to take my rolling pin. Like I say, I should have had my little rolling pin here, but I wasn't that organized. But you're getting the true, authentic me. Okay, so that's had a really nice press. Then I'm just going to pick up the edge, peel from one corner, and you can just, I love that. It's my favorite part of cookie decorating, is seeing that clean pop. Then back with my cutter, I'm just going to line that up there. Whoops, sorry, bit of a shake. Give it a bit of a press. Again, I like to remove my icing before I actually take my cutter off. I think it just gives a bit of a cleaner edge. Back to my cheap Kmart chopping board. And this time I've actually dusted off my pizza slide a little bit. So I'm just taking that under there and pop him up on my board. Get off. Bit of a shake just to clean up those edges. Tap. Voila. How sweet. And there you have it. Your beautiful little image on your fondant there. So you will notice, like on some of these ones that I made earlier, I had this sweet little petite butterfly on there. I'm just going to show you super quickly how to do those. So these are done with our little petite impression stamps. So this one's just a little new butterfly that we released a while ago. This is really simple. I see people trying to fill these, and that's where you're going to run into trouble. So my tip for using these is you just need a small amount of icing. I just had to go back and do a quick little edit here because I realized while I was doing this, I did it off screen. So I've just got the tiniest little bit of icing there, just popping an edible image guide on there, whatever you've got. And I'm going super thin, super thin, thinner than what you've done for your background. Just peeling that off there. It's like paper wafer thin. You don't want to overfill this little stamp, because if you do, you're not leaving enough room for it to bond when it actually depresses. No corn flour or anything. Oh, I do have to pick that out because when I used it before, I didn't clean it off. Right. That's pretty good. That's all right. So I'm just popping it on there. It's not going to fill the entire stamp. You don't want it to. Give it a bit of a shake. Peel off your excess. Turn it over. Just have a little bit of a check to see if there's any bits in there that have picked up that you don't want. So because those little antennas are fine, I've just picked out amongst there. So now we are ready to actually stamp it onto our cookie. So I'll pick up where I left off. I'm using the tiniest bit of water because I don't want to ruin that image. And I'm just giving a couple of tiny weeny dabs to help that bond. So let's see if this works. So you don't want to press too hard because you don't want to break through your edible icing that you've got. But I just kind of try and, I don't know, line it up a bit, give it a little press, but nothing crazy. And when you lift up, you want to release really quickly. Oh, look at that. Amazing. It worked. Believe me, there's times when it doesn't, and that's super frustrating. But when it does, oh my heavens, how sweet. Just gives like this nice little three-dimensional look to your cookie. And then, of course, I'm going to go and pop that on one of my cookies. And that's another one to finish off this beautiful set.